So so far, we've actually done a lot. If you take time to reflect on what we've done, we've covered so much ground. Even though we still have so much to cover, I don't know, maybe I'm giving too much to you guys. Maybe I'm releasing too much for his
No, sir.
So, but okay, that's great. So I just, sometimes it may be too much. Yeah. So, but that's fine. As far as you can bear them, as far as you can bear them. So we've done so much. We've done the basics of Python, strings, tuples, lists, dictionaries, loops, functions. We moved to pandas. We've done how to create your own data frame. You load data frame from any link, either from your local computer or from your GitHub account or from anywhere. As far as you have the link, we've done how to do that. We've done how to load them into your Python environment. And I must say this, that I think from machine learning, I'm going to be using another IDE, but I'll be switching between the two, like Visual Studio Code. So I hope your system can take it. Visual Studio Code is not large, but I hope your system can, so that you can start, because that's the way we'll be able to import different functions. Sorry for digressing. So that you can get used to other IDE like Visual Studio Code. We'll be mixing that with Jupyter Notebook. I need to start giving you guys, enough strong stuff that will benefit you, especially when you have to work with other data scientists, or you hear some people say, oh, maybe they're software engineers, so that you can start working with others, things like that. That's the goal of this scholarship. Our goal is to reach out to use whatever I might have gotten to impact the country, whichever way we can. That's it. So back to this missing data. So you've done a lot. You've done how to manipulate data, do some calculations, group the data. We did all of that. I hope you guys still remember that. So and that's why we make the videos public. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not, so that you can always receive notification. Sometimes I forget to add the link on the on the Canvas dashboard. But if you have subscribed to our channel, you easily get it. I upload the most time immediately after the class. Okay, so the data will not always come clean. Most times the organizational data are messy. I'm not teaching web scraping here, how to retrieve data from someone's website. That would be a different ball game. And I'm not teaching text data. Maybe when you grow, you want to take advanced class like natural language processing, you want to go into AI, we can do that. I'm not sure if that will be on a scholarship, but you can learn, you can build upon all of this. So, but data, whether it's in text or in images or structured data in tables, data will most times come messy, most times not be cleaned. So in fact, there is a saying that most data scientists spend almost 80% cleaning their data, and the remaining 20% for just building machine learning model. And that's why we don't start with building model, because if building model is not hard, if your data is clean, you can't get the most out of your the quality of your model is directly proportional to the quality of your data. That is it. So so most time you will spend almost all the time on cleaning the data, formatting it, making it in a structured format, and clean and well okay to start building your model. So this is where you spend most of the time, most of your time in when you are working with organization data. Most times this, and sometimes organization will say, oh, we are recruiting data scientists. And when you get the job, this is what you are mostly going to be doing. You may not even build machine learning model. The last time I was talking to, I don't know, I can't remember this company. I'm trying to remember. Is it Switch? there's a company in Nigeria that is in telecommunication. Can't really remember them. I know it ends with something.
Interswitch.
Interswitch, thank you.
Interswitch.
Yeah, thank you. So I was talking with one of their managers there. So, and what they want, and I was asking, they put a job out there for big data, data engineer and data scientists. And they put I'm sure they copied the job description from LinkedIn. So I was talking to him and I asked him, have you guys are working with, do you guys do machine learning? Is there actually no, they don't do. So why do you put in the job description? Does it put all of those machine learning, all the different concepts that you are going to do here? They put it in the job description, but they actually are not doing it. So what are they doing? Is actually this aspect of working with data, their companies' data, then cleaning and all of that's still what. If they recruit a data scientist, that's what it's going to be doing. So most organizations are at that level, and you have to do it if you decide to stay there. That's the level of the country for now, but I know Nigeria is growing, and we're going to get there in no time. Yeah. So not to waste too much of time, when we talk about missing data, it's a very complex or conflicting topic, because there is no one way on how to deal with missing data. How do you recognize missing data in your data? You will see something like NAs, null, or NaN, something like that. Once you read it you read in your data using Pandas, you're going to be seeing some code, like some space, some rows will just be in NA. That shows that that row is either missing or that row has a value that is not the same format, the same data type with that column. For instance, if a column is product, it stores a product name. So we expect product name to be in words. If you see, if a particular row just have a number like 20, that row, something is wrong. Am I right? It's supposed to store a product name, not number 20, right? So if you read it in using Pandas, it's going to put that row for you as NA, because it's also checking the data type of each column and see if each row match that data type. That is it. In programming language like C++, you have to have specified the data type when declaring it. Yes, when declaring the variable, you will specify the data type, like int. When you are declaring that, you will declare the data type first and then the variable name. But in Python is very relaxed on that. However, it by default is encoding the data type for you. So if a row does not match that data type, it's going to encode it as NaN, or the row is completely missing. So once you see that, that's an indication for missing values. So the chart I put here is how to deal with missing values. And mark my words, what the chart I put here does not mean that this is how you clean every missing data. People make that mistake, and this is what people give out to a lot of that. Oh, if you want to clean data, do this, do this, do this. If you're in an organization, please don't do that. They may sack you, because you will do a wrong analysis. So everything I'm going to explain here is conditioned upon understanding of the data. Please mark that. I emphasize on that too much, because I need that to get into you. Every step I'm going to show you on cleaning data here is conditioned upon, after meeting the domain experts, after meeting those who collected the data, after having meetings with them, after trying to get understand the data as to why the data is missing. You must understand that before you apply any of this. People don't say that, and they run wrong analysis, because that can manipulate, that can change the entire data. I will show you what I'm saying. So we are going to look at how to do forward fill, backward fill, how to fill a missing row with a constant value, or how to fill it with maybe the average of the column, the median, or the most common one, or to remove the entire row or the entire column, things like that. So we are going to look at all of that. So that's what we're going to look at. But remember, I said all these steps must be followed, must be preceded by your understanding of the data. And for you to understand the data, you need to talk with those who collected the data. You need to investigate. You need to ask questions. Why do you think this row is missing? Why is this product name not showing? So that's why people are afraid of data scientists or data analysts, because they can lead to other people being sacked based on their analysis. They are not, so it's not because they want to do wickedness, but the truth is they ask questions as to why that. So you don't just get data and start claiming. No, don't do that. So there is an example here on your dashboard. There is, I think you should have, so I think on your dashboard you should have a data called tidy data. Yes. So, and then you also, I'm going to work with these and then other ones. So the data I'm going to work with actually here. So one of it, the sample superstore. If you have not downloaded it, I think it should be one of the data. So let's see this data, store.ed. You already know how to read in the data. So it's a very small data, okay? So let me know, it's a small data, so I don't even need to do the ed. Are you following? Hope I'm not talking too much. Are you following?
I'm following, sir.
I'm following.
Good. So look at NaN, NaN. So it shows something is missing. These rows are missing, or they are not consistent with the data type there, or they are missing. So this is an indication of missing values. So when you see all of this, okay, look at what I was saying. Look at this customer, Brosina Hoffman. He bought phones here. We have the sales, the amount of the phones, the quantity. He bought 4 phones. This was the amount in dollars. This was the discount this person gave, and this was the profit the company made. And this same person bought a product here, but the product name wasn't recorded, and the amount was recorded. How possible is it to have the amount of a good, a product, and not have the product? Am I communicating? So this is where you need to start. This is what data scientists, data analysts are doing. So that I need to start, you need to start seeing in that light now, not just before writing code. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? How come?
Yes.
The same person. So are we now, how do we deal with this missing value? What do you think, anybody? What do you think if you are in this condition? And you don't know you are supposed to talk to anybody, what will come to, what do you think? Who wants to try? I mean, this is discussion now. We're having discussions now. Anybody? These are what we call situational questions they can ask you in interview. Having this kind of data, what do you do in this case? These are situational interview questions. Yes, Samson wants to say something.
I think the best thing to do is to look at the products sold by maybe the company, and it looks as if it's possible it's phone the person bought. I don't know, since the discount is the same, and I don't know. I'm not
they
sure.
all have, many have
the same discount. Okay.
And it's possible for many products to have the same amount here, the same amount, and this is for 9 products. So it's possible to have products, so many products that multiple, when you like 9 quantities of them will give you the same amount. It's possible. So how do we know? How do we deal with it? Are we supposed to assume that Brosina Hoffman that bought phones here also bought phone? Dimeji, you are welcome to give your insight too. I really want to say something. People are quiet. This, I know, most of our education, we are not trained to analyze, like to think too deep. And I mean, we have to, if you are going this way, you have, those are part of the training you will give yourself. You have to, start thinking deep. What do you think? So that's the issue here. And that was why I was saying that if you go by the steps that we have here, we have a step that says backward fill, meaning use the next value, the next value for us to fill it. So if I just use it, I've just told the company that Brosina Hoffman bought phones, right? If I use this phone to fill this place, I've just said Brosina Hoffman bought phones twice. He bought phones here, he bought phones here. What if it wasn't? And I didn't talk to anybody. Don't you think that this is an error and it's going to affect the analysis? Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That is it. So that's why this, when it comes to cleaning data, you have to be careful. That was why I made the comment at the beginning that make sure before you start doing analysis, once you notice missing values, you need to talk to those who call, so that what is the information they give you that will give you insight as to how to deal with it. That's where you will know whether you are going to remove the rows that is missing, that row corresponding to that person, or you are going to clean it, fill it with something else. So let's assume you already have that understanding and you want to fill it with, suppose you want to, we know the product, maybe the product is actually, let's say it's just something else like a book, let's just say, or the is a book, then you want to fill it with, you can't do that. So you just do, select the store. So you do fill NA. So you can see fill NA. So fill NA, do shift out to see the documentation. I could have just put, I mean, when I pick store, it's picking the old data. So I need to specify the column I want to fill, right? So I can just pick, so you use the value to do that. So you do value, and then you open a curly bracket like a dictionary. You can see examples are here. So it shows, you can go through it to see examples of how to do that. So I can specify, the key will be the column name, so which is product in this case. And the value will be, let's say, is book. However, let me warn you, this will feel not just this, but also this. So I'm saying, what I'm indirectly saying here is that all the missing rows correspond to book. That's what this is saying. So I will not save the result, but if I want to save the result, I can set in place to true. But if you set in place to true, it's going to adjust the original data. So I will not do that. If you want to save the result, just assign it to a different variable, that's all. So if I do this, look at it, book. So it has filled the NAs under products with book. And I can fill multiple variables. Suppose we want to fill 6. Maybe we feel that the missing row in these cells is the average. Maybe after your meeting with the department, the data collection department, suppose you are not the one collecting it, you realize they didn't give you, I mean, a good response. Like from what they said, you can deduct that maybe if you use the median, the average of all the sales this made that day, maybe you can replace it with that. You can first calculate the average. Please let me know if I'm too fast. Let me know. Am I too fast?
No, sir.
Oh, okay, good. So maybe after you talk with that, you realize that you can fill the sales with the average, but you don't want to use mean because mean is sensitive to outliers. For instance, this 1,706 can influence the whole row. So maybe you want to use median instead of mean. Median sales for that day to fill the missing row. So we can calculate the median sales. So we select the sales and then do dot median. So that we calculate the median sales. So when we want to fill the NA, we not only want to fill the product, but we also want to fill the sales. So you select another column. The key will be the column name sales, and the value will be the median sales that we calculated up there. So if we do this and run it, see, you can see sales 2 now have been filled with the median value. Is this clear to everybody? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, sir, I didn't get that, sir.
Okay, which one of them?
The median, how you got the value for the median value? That is under save, sir.
Yeah, so I selected the column. You know, we could have done, I selected the sales column. Like the store is the data frame. Sales is a column in data frame. You know how to select the column, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do dot median. So
okay, sir.
Yeah, you could also do dot mean. So this is how we calculate the median value. Then we just supply it here.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you,
Excuse
sir.
me, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
What if there are more than one items missing in a column? How do we impute that?
So that's what we did here. So you can see whenever you are supplying it, we fill all the missing value. Like here now, there are 2 missing values in product. But because we said, oh, put book there, it's going to fill all the missing values with book in that particular column. So this is assuming that all the missing values there in that column, the products it refers to book.
Books.
That's
okay, sir. What if?
function.
Okay, sir. What if it's a different product? I want to fit different products for different.
Then you will have to fill it one by one. So I won't put product here. Yeah, do you get? I won't put product here. So I could have just if there are different ones, that may be difficult to know. I mean, if all the values, except I have a way of specifying which row it should fill. So the problem with fill NA is that it's going to fill all the NA in that specific column with the value that you are specifying.
Okay, sir.
But that's a very good question. That's a very good question. So which I will also try to think about that and see if you can, how you can limit the values. But I think there is a limit function, a limit argument here. Let's see what the limit is doing. But
yes, there's a limit function. I've used it before.
So if method is specified, this is the maximum number of consecutive nans values to forth. Yes, so you can see now. So I can specify limit to be 1 in this place in product, but not doing it. That means I can't do multiple columns at the same time, except that I want to fill 1 for each of them. So I can do limits to be 1. Let's try it. I've not done this before. That's a good question. That's one thing with, let's see. So you can see, that's a good question. So book, you fill it with 1, it leaves this one separately and leaves this one, you fill the missing values here. So unfortunately, sales is only missing 1. So that's why no missing value there again. But you can see, you put book, it leaves this one as NaN, right? Is that what you're asking for, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for answering that question. That's a very interesting question. So that's good. So you can use the limit argument to limit the number of rows you want to fill in. So Dimeji, that should answer the question in the chat, right?
So sorry, sir. So assuming we probably want to limit it to like 2, we can probably still change it to 2 there, over there.
Yeah, yes. So if we put 2 now, because products are missing just 2, we won't see any NAs there again. You can see book. Do you get? So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
even though this is missing one, it doesn't matter. Since there is a column that has to it, it will fill those ones. Okay? Does it make sense? The person
Yes,
who
sir.
is showing video,
Yes, sir.
can you stop your video, please? Yeah. Thank you. All right. So that's that. So I've talked about, so what I've done is this one, imputing with mean, median, mode. You can do mode to just select the column, like this customer, that mode is the most occurring one. So you do that for object data frame, a column with object data type like this in text. Do where I select the column name and do dot mode. That will give you the most occurring rows, the rows that occurs most. Like here now, I think it should be this Zonatelli, it occurs 3 times. So it should feel that maybe it's the same Donatelli that bought something here that we don't have record. So it will fill that column, that row, okay? So we've done that. Let's look at how to forward fill and backward fill, all right? So imputing with a constant is the same. You just have to, like here, if I want to fill, I mean, imputing a constant doesn't really matter. Let's say I know that the sales that is missing, let's see the data again so that you can have an understanding of what I'm saying. So I didn't save the result so that I will be able to work with it. So this sales, suppose we know, this sales is, the phone is actually maybe $125. We can fill it here. We'll just do, maybe we'll just do fill NA and then put our values, value equals to this, and then we'll put the column name, that's the sales, and then the value will just be 125. So if we do this, you can see the sales has been filled with 125. So that's filling with a constant value. And you can do that for multiple columns too. So that will fill that particular spot with the value, the constant value that you supply. Is this clear to everyone?
Yeah, I have a question, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what if you're having like 5, 7 missing values in that sales column, for instance? Now, let's just assume we have a long list. So are we going to put comma at the back of the first value and keep writing the missing value there?
No. So remember, we've just said this now, that you can limit it. So once you limit it, you do it, that means you have to do it one by one. So suppose I want to fill just 2 rows I will limit it to 2, and then make sure, we'll save the result, like in place equals to true, or save it to a different variable, then do it again. That will fill the other ones, put those values there. Do you get what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, I do, sir.
You have to do it one by one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's that filling missing value. Yes, who is asking a question again?
The one we did before, is it using fill NA? Is that one filling with a constant value? That method, is it called filling with a constant value?
This? No, we filled with the median. This product obviously is a constant value. You put book there, but the sales, you filling with median, the median, you can see.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So let's do forward fill and backward fill. So I put a simple note here that the forward fill simply fills, it uses the previous value to fill the next missing value. And backward fill, use the next value to fill the previous missing value. For instance, let's look at the store again. So if I want to fill these products, these NAs in product with phones, let's say we are, after talking with the data collection team, they agreed that it was this Hoffman that also bought phones here too. So we want to fill this NA with phones. Okay, so we could have just, and then they also agree that this person is also, this person is also the one that bought product. I mean, the product here is also accessories. It's also accessories. So that means we can fill these NAs with these accessories. We can fill this NA with phones. So that means this is where we use, we just simply use the backward fill. This means use the next value to fill the previous missing value. Use the next value to fill the previous missing value. So, but note, if you do fill NA now, this is not under value again, because we are not filling with average or constant. Is the method we want to use to fill. That's why forward fill and backward fill under this. That's the method. So that's why you should know what each argument is doing. So we have to specify the method. Method equals to, then I can put, if I put backward fill, B for backward and fill. So this will now fill. You can see now that this has been filled with phones. This has been filled with accessories. So that's, remember I said this is all based on your understanding of the data after you have spoken to the minute. So that's what backward fill is doing. It's using the next value to fill the previous missing value. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Why forward fill? We use the previous value to fill the next missing value. So let's say I like to see the data again. So let's say we want to, since Donatelli was the one that bought art, let's say the art and the phones have the same price. So we just want to fill we want to put 8.56 here also, since they both cost the same thing and they didn't record here. So we can use the forward fill. It's going to use the previous value to fill the next missing value. So if we do dot fill NA, and then we specify the method as forward, F for forward, and then fill. This is going to fill. You can see now that this has now been filled with the 8.56 that was before it. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Sir,
Yes.
does a forward fill, why is it not affecting the product? The product NA.
Because there is no value before. You can't use NA to fill if there was a value
Okay, I think I get
the NA, is going to use it to fill. But you cannot, it's NA you are trying to fill, and there was no value before the NA, so there wasn't value to fill it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a question. Yeah, go ahead, please.
So the forward fill has to, or backward fill will probably fill all the missing values. Is there a way to?
Except you specify, you have to.
Can we limit it the way we did with the other one?
I think let's see. That's a good question. I like the way you guys are asking questions now. So when we did value, we specified the column name. So let's see method. And so method to use for filling O's in reindex series. So this is saying series. And remember what series is? Who can remind me what series is?
Like a single
column.
A single column. So I'm not sure we can fill it with for a single column, but I'm not sure you can select multiple. So to do that for single, we might have to specify the column. You get the column that you want to fill there, like, okay, maybe like sales. You might have to specify that. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so, but that's a very good question. But let me see one other thing. Okay, no columns. So if there is a column argument there, we might have been able to do that. Yeah. So, but that's it. So that's why they put series. So meaning a single column at a time. So that's what you can use it. I'm not sure. I will check, but I'm not sure if you can do for method this forward fit, backward fit for multiple. For a single, like do them separately, like that. Yeah. So let's. Yeah, but I can check and get back. Okay. So finally, you can drop missing values. So however, this should be the last option. So because once you drop, that means you are missing values, like you are losing information. So for instance, if we want to drop the rows, so we can do drop NA. So this by default, we drop all of the rows that are missing in the store. So you can see that the data has been reduced. It has dropped all of the rows. And however, you can also drop the columns that are missing, but that's dangerous. So by default is dropping the rows, that axis equals to 0. If I specify axis equals to 1, it's going to drop all the columns with missing values. And see, only one column does not have missing values. So dropping this is called deleting. So when you are deleting missing values, you have to be very careful. And remember, before you do any of this, you must have understood the data very well. Okay? Any question? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so one final thing we need to do is how to tidy data. Let me see if, okay. So because I'm not going to NumPy. So one final thing is how to tidy data. So because there is a way your data can come in different formats. And if your goal is to do analysis or build model, there is a way your data should be. Maybe somewhere in the future, I trust God that it's not going to be that long. I'm going to organize maybe a weekend, Saturday and Sunday, on teaching on data analysis and visualization with R programming language. I know some of you are gurus like Dimeji, they are already gurus in R. So maybe, so I'll teach that. And because sometimes knowing different language, but you have to be comfortable with Python 4, can help you. Like R is very, very good with analyzing data and visualizing. Okay, so but there is a prominent member in our community called Adley Wickham. In one of his paper, this guy wrote something on how a data should be. So he titled that paper called Tidy Data. When you mention R, you can't leave R Adley Wickham. Those are the prominent member there. So one of the things he said, and this is very true. One of the things he said is that each row should be an observation, meaning there should not be duplicate rows in your data. And by duplicate, it doesn't like this. This is not a duplicate row because for it to be duplicate, the same name, fine. It must have the same name, the same product, the same sales amount, the same quantity, the same discount, the same. So all of the two rows must be exactly the same. That's when it's duplicate. For instance, if I do store and do drop duplicate, you will see that it's not going to be able to drop anything. It couldn't drop anything because there is no row that is missing actually. There's no row that is duplicate. I mean, do you get? So this is not duplicate. So, but there are some data that comes with rows duplicated. So that's what they say, that each row should be an observation. Each row should be a record about a specific person or a specific product. It should, no two rows must be the same. Now, but the one I will focus on is this second part. Each column should be a variable name. No, like each column should be it should be a specific variable. Now, let me show you this particular data, and you can tell me if this data is fine for analysis, and what you think, your opinion. So it's called Pew data. You have access to that in the tidy data. So look at this data. What do you think? I mean, it doesn't mean that this data is bad, but what do you think about this data based on this, on what we said here? Each row should be an observation, each column should be a variable. Do we have each column as a variable here? Hello? You guys are quiet.
I think they don't know or refused. You should have, I don't know. Or they were greater than 150K.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
So this is a variable according to this data, less than 10K, because this data is about people, there are the different types of religion and the amount they earn annually. So for a table format, I think this is right. This would be a good presentation for a table format, like, 27 agnostic people earn less than $10,000 in a year. 34 agnostic earn between 10 and 20. However, to do a visualization or to build a model, you will have problem with this kind of data. So do you know can we say that all of these less than this money or don't know, are they referring to can we say they are referring to the income level of the people with this different religion? Can we say that? That this is just referring to their income?
Yes, sir.
So that means we can put all of this into a single variable called income, instead of having about 15 columns. We can gather in how you do this on using the gather function. So you can gather all of the columns into a single variable called income. So in other words, data in this format is called a wide format, and you want to turn it to a long format so that you can use it for building models. So what we can do is to first melt this data. Let's call it Pew long. So we can do from Pandas, there is a melt method that can help us melt the data. Let's look at the argument here. So the first thing you supply is the data frame that you want to melt. The ID underscore vars are the variables that you feel they don't need to be melted. They are already okay. Okay? And this var name is the variable name, the new name you want to give to the column that you are gathering all those other ones to. And the value name should be the name of the column to store these values that are under the column you gathered. I mean, you understand it now. So the first thing is the data frame name, which you call Pew. This next thing is ID underscore vars. ID underscore vars, and the ID underscore vars is what you do not want to melt, what you think is already, they're already okay. For instance, the religion do not need to be melted. Am I right? Because the religion already have, so is already good. With each row is talking about the different religion. So can you be muted, please? No. Okay, good. So now, if I run this is enough, and this will give me the melted column. Data frame. You can see. So I have religion, variable, and value. So the variable now. So this variable is a default name given by Pandas because I did not supply the name I want to use for all the columns that are melted. So you can see what you have under the variable. all these column names has been melted there as now they are now categories of this variable, and the value refers to all of these. So we can supply it a name called maybe it's called var name. Why is this season? All right. So var name, maybe we'll call it income. And then the value name. Oh, I think when I use tab, I don't know. Okay, so the value name we can use maybe the count, things like that. So if we do this, and then let's just show the first 5. The keys, yeah, so this is, so you can see. So you just give the variable name and all of that. So you can, that's how to, so to me, this is better formatted, and you can use this for modeling than this. This is good for presentation in a table format. This is good when you are trying to format it for modeling. So I will stop here so as not to go too far, but we'll continue from here and do visualization next class. The visualization is very short, and then so we can combine it with, because there are other challenging ones that I put here, so that may take more time. So let me stop here, and then we can continue this next week like that. So this, do you have any question on this before I release you to do? I mean, there are a lot of questions, and I do not expect that you finish, but at least if you can lay your hands on some of them, that would be good. Do you have any question before you go to the breakout room to do some of these questions? Any question?
I have a question, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but it's quite different from what you did. I noticed the Jupyter node. I think we have Jupyter node, and we have, is this spider? So I think I was trying the spider and I was running my code. So I wanted to know the major difference between the Jupyter node and the spider.
So this is the spider. So you can see it said it's scientific Python development environment. Powerful Python ID with advanced editing, interactive testing, debugging, and this, that. So there are different ID, and it's obviously different, but you can choose which one. The reason people use Jupyter Notebook is because it's interactive. Is Spider interactive when you were using it? Like, are people seeing the result of what you are running each step by step?
No, sir.
So that is it. So that's the difference. So the reason we use Notebook is because people can see your code and the results. They can see your code and the results. Like this, I wrote a code here, and then you see the result. When by the time we start using Visual Studio Code, you are not going to be seeing the result like this. So yeah, so that's why people, each ID, okay, yeah, so already. So each ID, like Dimeji said, is unique. They have their own advantages and disadvantages, not disadvantages, like their own way of working. For instance, by the time we want to start building applications, like what I told you, that by the time we want to start doing machine learning, that we will be importing functions from one project, from one script to another. You may not be able to do that with Jupyter Notebook. For instance, I was working on a project, the project that I said it worked for 5 days. I used 8 to 10 different scripts because it's an application. So I use 8 to 10 different scripts to develop the software. 8 to 10 different scripts, and each script is connecting to the other. I'm importing function from each script to the other. So script B is depending on the result of the functions in script A. You can't do that in Jupyter Notebook, but you can do that in Visual Studio Code, and I'm sure you can do that in Spider. So that is it. So by that, as I said, I'm going to teach machine learning in a different way. So I'll be switching between Jupyter Notebook and another IDE like Visual Studio Code. So that can help you develop your application. I do not plan to teach deployment of your model in this course, but maybe in future course, if I want to teach it, you can deploy your machine learning model, your code to, we can just build a simple website like using HTML and CSS, just simple, and then deploy a machine learning model to that and using Flask. But I'm not going to be doing that. You are going to build on this, on whatever. This feed is large, but you are going to build on them, as we go on.